is the Steve and DC radio program. Man.
I am dying to tell the creepy real estate story, DC, from yesterday.
This is very, very bizarre. And when Steve called me last night and we were talking about some things, and he told me this story. Now, you're in the middle of looking for a house, right? This is your third house in like the last 2 months.
Well, I've been fortunate now on a buying a house and then doing some things and selling it, and so I'm ready to do it again.
But you don't like, for example, finding a house and then staying there for several years.
It's not that. It's the chance to, make a little more than it cost you, and that's a good thing. And then, I'm looking for a house that I can stay in for a long, long time. The next house I buy will be the house that my grandchildren will come visit me in.
Mm-hmm. All right, well, so you're looking for this house, and so he calls me last night, and he's telling me about going to this particular house, and I can't even remember where it was, but you go with the realtor.
It was at the end of a street. It was nice and private. It was at the end of a street. In fact, it was a side street. It didn't even look like there'd be a house at the end of this street, which I like that privacy. And you go down this street, and what appears to be a dead end, then sitting off on the right, there's a house, and it's surrounded by trees. Of course, in the winter, there's no leaves on the trees, but normally that would fill in. You could hardly see that there's a house back there. It's kind of secluded.
Now, any of you that have gone through that process, it's a real standard thing. You go, the realtor lets you in, you walk around. Usually, you have questions and such.
Sure. And now this was one they'd run an ad in the paper on this house on Sunday, and I'd seen the ad, and I thought, this sounds like a house I might like. I want to go see it. So rather than use any particular realtor, I just called the listing agent, whose name was on the sign out in front of the house, and said, I'd like to see the house at such address. Could you meet me over there and show it to me?
Now, this is a house where there is an upstairs, and so...
And a basement.
So, but the upstairs, what I'm talking about is they give the house, and the realtor, I guess the realtor stayed downstairs and
and the
basically
realtor,
let you show yourself around.
The realtor, she had problems getting into the house. They put those lock boxes on houses.
Yeah.
The house was empty.
Why didn't you just break a window?
There was no furniture in the house or anything, and she had trouble. It took about 15 minutes to get the lock box to work, because those things can be stubborn. That the realtors have to get in.
Yeah.
So she took big clunky box off the door, and we go walking in, and the realtor was an Indian lady. Like dot in the middle of the forehead. No,
Okay.
not like woo, 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 but like dot in the middle of the forehead.
Okay.
We are so PC, aren't we?
Now what I don't understand is
now you know.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Typically, the realtor would accompany you throughout the house and answer any questions, that sort of thing.
I have looked at a lot of houses. Y'all know that lately, because I've been telling y'all about them. And normally the realtor walks you through the house and says, and this is this, and this is the master bedroom, and here's the bathroom, and stuff anyway. But you know how they like. They're trying to sell you on that.
Right.
Well, this one didn't. This one was filling out some paperwork down in the kitchen and just let me and a friend of mine roam through the house on our own. So we go looking through this house. Keep in mind, the lights were off. Nobody's living there. It's empty. Fairly big house. Older house, about 50 years old. Go walking through the house. It almost turned into a Halloween show, you guys. I'm telling you what. I'm telling you. Walked through the house, and it had some cool features. It had like a room. They had a pool table in it down in the basement. It was a cool little billiards type room down there, and all these little surprise. 50 years old. A lot of times when they built houses that old, they're like a little crawl space and little closets in places just everywhere.
Now, mind you, Steve is in this house looking at it with the realtor.
That's right.
Now, typically, anytime you go to a house with a real estate agent, they'll go with you. But this one decided to just stay downstairs, let you go upstairs by yourself.
Real estate agent is downstairs, so I'm looking through the house. Go look in the upstairs where the bedrooms are. Look on the main level where the den and everything is, family room, all that stuff. Down in the basement where they'd had their pool table, and look around. So then I want to go out and look in the garage. So go out and open the garage and look. This house had a 5-car garage, a big oversized garage, because apparently the family that lived there had a dog or two, and they had a kennel built right beside the garage, and it had one of those pet doors where the dog could also come into the garage. So room for cars and animals. And I thought, boy, with my dogs, that'd be great. George W. and Bear, that'd be great to have that. So I'm thinking, I like this place.
But here's where it gets kind of creepy.
So thinking I had seen the entire house, I don't think you're overdoing the music at all.
This is creepy, though.
Yeah. I'm glad I didn't hear this music yesterday.
Well, if you go into a house and music like this is actually playing...
That's not the house for you. Get out of the house. So I'm about to turn around and leave the garage, and I notice a door that is not a normal-sized door. It's small enough that you'd have to stoop down to get through it. It looked like a little door that you'd open to go up, like into an attic or something.
Okay, yeah, one of those little... I know what you're talking about, yeah.
Y'all know this. You guys.
It's like half the door.
And so I open the door, and it just blends right into the wall. I mean, it's not even, you don't even notice, oh, there's a door, there's another room. So
almost like a secret room kind of thing.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Open the door, folks, and see a tall, narrow staircase, fully carpeted.
Ooh, don't go up there.
And a light on
Never
it.
go up
A light on it. A light on at the top of the stairs.
Never go up
I think
there.
I've seen this entire house.
And I think I've seen this entire thing in a movie.
I think I've seen this entire house, so I have gone through the thing. Nobody there, furniture gone, lights for the most part not turned on. We're walking around turning on all the lights. The realtor's in the kitchen filling out paperwork, doing her own thing. And I start to walk up the stairs because I think, oh, look, it's a area over the garage that they didn't even say was here.
But it appears it's not an attic. It's big enough.
At that point, I didn't know what it was. At that point, I just saw a little door and stairs going up and a light on. I mean, I didn't know what was up there yet. So I start to walk up the stairs, and you hear a voice upstairs say, I'm up here, come on up. I swear, you guys. Now, in this house, there was a lockbox on the door. It took the realtor 15 minutes to get in. The lights in the house, she had to turn them all on. It was dark, and there was not a stick of furniture in the house.
Now, certainly the realtor, if someone was still residing there, something like that was going on, the realtor would have told you when you got there, hey, there's,
You would think, because normally they know things like that, and it's on the disclosure form, and you know before you go. And realtors don't go in houses with lock boxes if somebody's home. They ring the bell, they knock, they yell out. They just don't do that. So this realtor went in not thinking it was going to be there. So I go up the steps.
You actually went up after the voice said, come up here.
Yeah, I go up the steps. I was halfway up.
He's not a black man, I'll tell you that.
And I was a little creeped out, but I went on up. And, well, when I rounded the top of the stairs, there I discovered a small kitchen, a small little den, a bedroom, and a little bathroom. And sitting on the couch upstairs with a very small black and white TV on, smoking a cigarette, was a guy that looked like he was in maybe his early to mid-50s. And he stands up when I get to the top of the stairs, and he's got a toothpick in his mouth. And his lips, he's doing, you know how these people will flip the toothpicks? He's flipping the toothpick. And have you ever seen a guy, when a guy sizes up a girl, when he looks her up and down, and and he's like checking her out?
Once over.
Giving her the once over. He's looking at me that way. And he's flipping this toothpick, and he's going up and down, and he looks at me and says, "You a realtor?" I was waiting for him to say, he's got a real pretty mouth. You a realtor? And this guy looked, I told DC, like, have y'all ever seen pictures of John Wayne Gacy, the serial killer?
Yeah.
We got a book from a guy that we interviewed years ago that's got a picture of John Wayne Gacy in it. This guy is his double. Looked just like him. Now, just like a serial killer. Now, I may have been the nicest guy in the world. Looked like a serial killer.
I asked, Steve last night. I said, my first question would have been, who are you?
Right.
And why are you in this house?
I was a little stunned and a little frightened at the same time. He said, "You a realtor?" I said, "No, I'm considering buying this house." He said, "Swear." He said, "I stay here."
I stay here.
Not I live here, I rent here, I stay here.
I stay here.
And I said, "Oh."
Not if I move in.
I said,
But he said, well, I don't see him.
I said, "Okay." And then he said, "You want to look in there?" Well, I didn't want him behind me in the staircase. I didn't want him, because, you never know. They knock you in the head, he could pull out a gun, a knife, he could pull out that.
Well, it already sounds nutty enough.
The stuff they put on you've seen the movies where they put the stuff on the napkin and you pass out? Yeah.
Chloroform.
Right at a time here. So I didn't even, I took a step and I looked around and said, "Okay, fine, I'm about to go down the stairs." He turns around and he says, and I left this part out, in the basement there was a vault, like a bank vault in one of the rooms, literally with a big steel door and everything. All the guy said to me as I'm turning around to go to the house was, "Did you see the vault?"
Ooh.
Swear to you. I said, yeah, nice feature. Went down, told the realtor. The realtor was going back to the office to check and see if they had any record of anybody being in the house. I ended up, obviously, I wouldn't buy the house. It was the last house on the planet.
Of course, and I told Steve they're going to find out that was the owner that lived there like 70 years ago. He's been dead for 20 years.
Yeah, right. Thanks a lot. But the realtor was going to go back and find out if they knew of anybody staying there, living there, or whatever. There was not a car outside, by the way.
That's very, very creepy.
You a realtor? And then he was flipping that toothpick, giving me the once-over. Did you see the vault?
Very bizarre.
I guarantee you, I don't guarantee you, but I wondered all night if there weren't bodies buried in the backyard.
Well, Why would he mention the vault? That's where I'd keep the bodies.
I'm still house hunting. I ain't buying that one.